Alright, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got some good news stuff for you today. And before I get into the main topic, I just want to remind you guys that I am going to be away Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at least for a little vacation. I actually get back on Sunday, and I may be able to make a video that day, but there's probably going to be a lot to do when I get back. You know how it is, life and all that. So I'm going to be going just to San Diego. It's like 6 hours away. Gonna see the ocean and walk around on Mission Beach and maybe go to the San Diego Zoo because it's supposed to be one of the best in the world. And why not? You know. So just a little free time. You know what I mean? And then I will be probably back into it. I may be driving up to Washington State, and that's like a 20, it's supposed to be like 21 hours, but everybody knows that it's going to take like 25 hours kind of thing, where you have to gas up and get some food and stop, stretch your legs kind of thing. So for the next few days, the videos will be very infrequent, but I promise that, sooner or later here, they're going to get right back on track. Also, I'm still a little sick from my poisoning. I feel like John McAfee now. They're out to get all the crypto shills. Still a little not that great, but that's okay because I'm good enough. You know what I mean? And I only not make a video unless I'm totally not at the computer or so ill that the bathroom is my friend. You know how it is. Life. Anyway, so the main topic of today is that Lightning Network shows a 99% failure rate on large Bitcoin transactions. So there is hardly any denying the immense possibilities attached to Lightning Network, which is true. However, despite its growth and increasing popularity, it still performs, poorly as a Bitcoin payment processing protocol. So Lightning Network is a second layer payment protocol on the Bitcoin blockchain. Together with SegWit, it's one of the essential upgrades to the Bitcoin architecture. Both have been identified as primary reasons for the drop in Bitcoin transaction fees. So Lightning Network uses contracts deployed on top of the Bitcoin blockchain network to facilitate instantaneous, low-cost transactions. And the protocol also provides a measure of scalability, with some experts identifying it as the possible panacea to Bitcoin's scalability conundrum. Since its introduction, Lightning Network has grown to over 2,500 nodes with a network capacity of 150,000. So despite its growth, Lightning Network appears to be less than ideal for sending large Bitcoin payments. According to a recent report by Dyer, Lightning Network a success rate of only 1% for transaction rates above $200. Even for transactions that are less than $100, the success rate is somewhere in the 70% region. For a protocol that is supposed to improve the payment efficiency and scalability of Bitcoin vastly, these figures are definitely not up to standard. As you can see the chart here, as you go up in value, it just really just dies off in terms of its usability. So major bugs in the Lightning Network protocol. Lightning Network is still in its beta testing phase, so we can give it some time, though. And as such, there are critical bugs in the system. One of these flaws is, in fact, that all three participants in a transaction, sender, intermediary, and receiver, have to be online for the transaction to occur. Presently, it is impossible to transfer Bitcoin via Lightning Network to someone who is offline. This particular bug has led to a less than ideal situation in the Lightning Network protocol, the emergence of large hubs on the network. And these large hubs have enough liquidity to route large Bitcoin transfers. Thus, network capacity has been concentrated in a handful of these large hub nodes. In fact, 10 of the largest nodes control 53% of capacity, despite being a meager 0.4% of the network. So Lightning Network, unfortunately, is very centralized, but so far, in terms of cryptocurrency, decentralization has not worked all that well. Now, you might argue with that. You might be like, "Well, what are you talking about?" Because I like decentralization. I get it. But it doesn't move too fast with some coins. Now, some coins are very fast. You know, like Nano, you can send it like instantly with virtually no fees. I mean, only the fees of electricity that it costs to send it, basically. So it's not exactly free when people say that, but pretty much. Just like it isn't free to be watching your TV or to be like browsing the internet. It's costing you electricity. But Decentralization is good because it puts the power back in the people and puts you in control of your money, and that's great. But honestly, it fails on the big end, on the big ticket, if you will. If everybody in the world started using Bitcoin, it would slow to a crawl. Your transactions, it would take days for them to go through. If people were using Bitcoin as much as they were using their Visa or their MasterCard or something like that. So there's a lot of things that we need to work on, and Lightning Network is one of them. But we'll see how it goes. So it's essentially more nodes are needed to make it essentially less centralized. And not many people have picked up the nodes because Lightning Network nodes are a little complicated to set up, more complicated than setting up just about any other node. So you can find how to set up a Bitcoin Lightning Network node, and it's a big long list of things. Now, if you could follow a big long list of instructions like cooking, sure, you can set it up, but it's more complicated than other things, and a lot of people that sort of dissuades a lot of people. So it's important to note that large hubs don't control the network. However, they can be considered as money transmitters. For this reason, regulated exchange platforms are reticent about implementing Lightning Network hubs. Commenting on this issue, Bitcoin advocate and Bitcoin Jesus, Andreas Antonopoulos. And Andreas Antonopoulos, let me just, don't smile. You're so crazy looking. We all love you, and you're such a genius, but you're so crazy looking. I don't think Coinbase will run Lightning, and I think there are many reasons why. This is from him, a quote from him, and I think there are many reasons why we're not going to see regulated exchanges running Lightning hubs. They have a fully KYC, like know your customer, on one end of their connection, but if they receive a payment that's going to the customer over the Lightning Network, they have no idea whether that customer is the final destination. If they receive one coming in from that customer, they have no idea if the customer is the origin, which means their KYC just fell apart, completely fell apart. So Lightning Network really obfuscates the know your customer role for exchanges, particularly very regulated exchanges like Coinbase that are very Americanized, if you will. So we'll have to see on that. But Lightning Network has a long way to go. There's bugs to work out, just like any software, and we'll have to see. So moving on, the Sacramento Kings are mining Ethereum. So the Sacramento Kings, a professional basketball team playing in the NBA, announced a new charitable program called Mining for Good. So the team will now install cryptocurrency mining equipment in the Golden One Center, making the first Tier 4 data center ever built in a professional sports arena. So the Kings also become the first professional sports team in the world to mine cryptocurrency. The Mining for Good is a part of a multi-year scholarship program aimed at supporting Sacramento-based causes focused on transforming black communities in Sacramento. As noted by the Kings' official website, as cryptocurrency continues to grow in popularity, the Mining for Good program could serve as a blueprint for large organizations and businesses to embrace emerging platforms as an engine for social change. So a quote from the owner, opportunity begins when technology allows the world to find innovative solutions to complex problems. Through Mining for Good, not only will we raise funds to help workforce development and training, we aim to inspire the next generation of tinkerers and thinkers to create and change their own community. So that's pretty cool. Just going to be mining for the community, mining for charity, mining for their own community in Sacramento. Kind of cool, I suppose. It's not the most amazing or pertinent news in the world, but there's always something good to be had with mining and charity. So moving on. So your Bitcoin transactions can be tracked, and here are the companies that are doing it. So I think most of us know now that Bitcoin can be tracked pretty easily, but maybe this article will let you know just how easy it is. So when creating a wallet, users are given an address that allows them to receive coins, and this address is just a long string of numbers and letters, but each one is unique to the wallet. So this poses privacy concerns on the network, as anyone can go in and view the transactions that you've sent from that wallet. Which is easy. You just go to the blockchain, you just go to the block website. Excuse me. Still just not 100%. The McAfee goons have gotten to me too. They're like, we gotta get that MrSotko guy. He's the 474th influential person on YouTube. a big concern. Anyway, so you can go online, you can just type in a public key, and you can see all the transactions that have come from that. So if you know the person who's tied to that public key, then you know all the transactions they've done, and therefore, in a sense, it's less anonymous than your bank account. Like if I know your name, I don't necessarily know your bank account number, and I can't get to your bank account, and I don't know what you've purchased from day to day. I don't know that you went to the store. I don't know that you took $20 out of your bank account. I don't know that you went here or did that or bought plane tickets or this, that, or the other thing. Now, of course, the government could probably find that out pretty easy, but it makes it even easier with Bitcoin, ironically, that if I knew your name and I knew your public key, if you've ever sent me or if you have it publicly listed in some way, I could find that out. And that's a little ironic, as it's supposed to be very private focused. So this property of Bitcoin allows people to link wallets and real-world identities. For example, you send coins from your personal wallet to your exchange wallet. The wallet on the exchange could be linked to your identity. If somebody knows that, then they can assume that wallet 1 also belongs to you. So companies like Chain Analysis, good old Chain Analysis, thank you. Chainalysis, ooh, tricky. Real clever, guys. They're all sitting around a big table. What are we going to call ourselves? Somebody's like Chain Analysis, and somebody's like, I'm going to beat that guy. I'm going to get the promotion this year. Chainalysis. And they're like, Jesus, he is a genius. Give him a $20,000 raise this year, and I want it stat. Have been identifying wallets that are linked to criminal activity. Oh, thank you. Such as darknet transactions, because if they can link them to criminal activity, they can link them to anybody. Such as darknet transactions with their blockchain analysis software and other online public clues, they were able to link transactions to real identities. Chainalysis' most famous work was helping the FBI identify 2 rogue agents that had been stealing Bitcoin from the wallet of an online drug market operator. So another company working on blockchain analysis software is California startup CipherTrace. They've even gone as far as infecting their own systems with ransomware to track the coins that are used to decrypt the machines. This could lead to possibly finding out who is behind many of these viruses, along with aiding law enforcement in recovering the money. So privacy coins such as Zcash and Monero may serve up problems for blockchain analysis analysts. However, Zcash uses a technology called ZN-snarks or Z-snarks to hide transaction data, including the sender, recipient, and the amount transacted. Chainalysis, I hate your name. I can't stand it. CEO Michael Groniger does not see Zcash as a problem, however. Very few people use the privacy options on Zcash, because remember, if you use a Z transaction, I think there's Z and T transactions. If you use the T transaction, which is which is just a default, if you will. That's the word I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for, is default with a Zcash wallet. And so if you send, a T transaction to a Z wallet, it doesn't work that way. They both have to be Z. So the problem is that it's not always as private as you would want it to be. So it's still possible to gather data about those who use Zcash and don't use the privacy option. Matching private transaction timestamps to real-world events, such as buying something online or selling coins for fiat, can de-anonymize users. Monero uses ring CT and stealth addresses to obscure data, features that make Monero private by default. So when you send a transaction on Monero, 6 other random signatures are pulled from the blockchain and included in your transaction. So anyone viewing the transaction on the blockchain would be unable to figure out which signature belongs to the sender. So tracking technology has more use cases than just catching criminals. With the increasing number of investors entering the scene, blockchain analysis can help banks and other financial institutions comply with KYC and anti-money laundering laws. Such software could be used to observe market trends, increased Bitcoin trading in foreign countries, and such. So basically tracking you and everything you do, basically making crypto just the same thing as fiat, and you're just trading this fungibility of the same thing. So because crypto has become so popular, it is essentially destroying itself. To be totally honest, because of its popularity, all governments are now reacting to it, and they will react better than we can react. That much I can promise. As you can see, they could already, for the most part, track just about anything. Now, Zcash and Monero causes a bit of a headache for them, but I guarantee they could figure that out. Considering if you watch those forensic files, they can figure out that you murdered somebody by simply like tracking the plastic bag that you used back to its manufacturer and tracking the little lines in the plastic bag that are created when it was actually made. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, trust me, they're gonna figure it out. So, you know, crypto's popularity is destroying crypto, and that's a shame, because it's becoming less and less private. It's becoming less and less ours, and more the government every day. It's quite a shame, and I don't mean that to be like negative or fuddy, just realistic. Silk Road's Ross Ulbricht denied a review of prison life sentence by Supreme Court. So if you don't remember who Ross Ulbricht was, he created the Silk Road, and when Bitcoin first came out, one of the main things that you could use Bitcoin for, except for the random mom and pop store with antiques in New York City randomly that would accept Bitcoin, was the Silk Road. The Silk Road sold everything. You could buy. I think I visited it once. It was like in 2012 or 2013 when it was really popular. I actually never, honestly, to be totally honest, I never ordered anything off of it because it's like the worst idea ever. Whoever orders drugs or other illegal things offline and has them shipped to their house, you're dumb. I'm sorry. And anybody watching this that did that successfully, let me just tell you, you're probably lucky. All right, just like sending drugs through the mail. I don't know. Just go to your local dealer. You know, just go down the road. You know what I mean? I'm not advocating. But they sold drugs, they sold weapons, you could buy anything in Bitcoin. And so the Supreme Court has denied the review of life sentence for Ross Ulbricht. Although, it was a bad thing that happened, but a life sentence is pretty insane for what had happened with the Silk Road, in my opinion. And they gave him a life sentence for this. And people that rob banks, people that murder other people, get out of prison at some point in their life. People that have done horrible things get out of prison at some point and not always stay in for life. So this is crazy how much, prison time this person has gotten for this. And again, I'm not advocating. I'm not saying what he did was good or not bad, but it's just really crazy. So Dread Pirate Roberts of the Silk Road Darknet, that's Ross Ulbricht, so they denied his court. Ulbricht had been arrested and sentenced to life in prison in 2015 for his involvement in the Silk Road marketplace, convicted of helping the distribution of drugs, computer hacking, fraud, money laundering, and among others. I think there were weapons on there as well. In October last year, the U.S. Department of Justice claimed the proceeds of 144,336 Bitcoin seized when the Silk Road was shut down in 2013. Collecting around 48 million. So every time the government seizes a lot of Bitcoin, they end up having an auction, and you can usually buy it pretty cheap, and they'll sell it in like chunks of 25 Bitcoin at a time, and you have to go there and outbid, and you usually get them for a lot cheaper, but you usually have to come there with a lot of money anyway, so it's not like you're going to get a Bitcoin for $1,000. You have to buy like 25 Bitcoin and get it at such and such off of the market value and whatnot. So moving on to CoinMarketCap, as usual for the end of the day. I literally just refreshed this from 245 billion market cap. Now we are down to $242 billion market cap. So we are not doing too hot with crypto here. EOS all the way down to 758. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets down to 5, as I've heard that from other TA, if you will. Not that I pay too much attention to it, but it is down something fierce there at 5.88%. And so it looks like we have a couple little pump coins here that are pumping for, I don't know, probably no reason. And some of the losers of the day, Ontology is getting hit pretty bad, EOS as well. Interestingly enough, Ontology's mainnet comes out, I think, July 9th, sometime in a week or so here. I didn't look it up exactly, but I remember it is in the news. It will be coming out soon. So Ontology's mainnet, when it comes out, it may hype the price up a little bit, but right now the problem is, again, one, everything's tied to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going way down. So if there is a pump, it will likely be short-lived at the moment. So keep on hodling, keep on buying. At this point, depending on when you bought in, it probably will not be a good idea to just sell it and try and pick it up at a lower price, because I don't know how much lower it's going to go. But $50 a week or something like that, picking it up, you're getting quite good value right now at 6,000 compared to 10 or 12, getting double what you would usually get. What the price I feel like what it should be at the moment. But that's all I have for you guys today. Pretty short episode, I know. Again, as soon as I start feeling better, as soon as I get back from my vacation, I'll have some longer episodes. I'll have some more in-depth stuff for you and some more sauce for you whenever it comes across. But right now, just not feeling too hot. And I figured I'd bring you guys some quick news and just remind you again that I'm going to be Friday, so that's tomorrow, Saturday, definitely no videos, Sunday maybe, and then from there on there should be the usual videos. But I'll always make an announcement to you guys if there's not going to be videos or anything like that. Don't think I'm going anywhere just because I don't make a video for the day. I do feel some like a sense of my own pressure to make a video every day, and I try to as much as possible. This weekend, maybe Friday or Saturday, I may do a cell phone live stream for just a few minutes. So if you guys are around and you see my live stream pop up, you can have a chat with me. Maybe I'll be walking around the zoo or the beach or something like that. Just say hello. But I probably won't be streaming for very long or anything like that. But as usual, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.